Picture an empire at the exact moment history later calls its golden age. The streets are paved, the borders are secure, the treasury is full, merchants travel freely, soldiers march confidently. Citizens believe tomorrow will look like today, only richer. This is the moment monuments are built. This is the moment leaders declare victory over history itself. And yet, this is also the moment collapse quietly begins. Not during famine, not during invasion, not during chaos, but at peak wealth. So here's the paradox no empire escapes. Why do civilizations fall after they become rich, not before? Rome. At its height, it controlled the Mediterranean world. Spain, flush with gold from the Americas. The Abbasid Caliphate, the richest intellectual center on earth. The British Empire, the largest empire in human history. Different eras, different beliefs, different technologies. Same ending. Every empire believed this time was different, and every empire was wrong. History shows us something deeply uncomfortable. Collapse does not come from weakness. It comes from overstretched success. Empires don't die young. They die old, wealthy, and exhausted. In the beginning, empires are simple. Low taxes, direct authority, clear incentives. Expansion is driven by necessity. But wealth changes behavior. With money comes administration. With administration comes rules. With rules comes bureaucracy. Each new problem demands a solution. Each solution adds another layer. Courts, departments, committees, regulators, enforcers. At first, complexity feels like progress. But complexity has a hidden cost. It consumes energy. Historian Joseph Tainter called this diminishing returns on complexity. Early complexity pays off. Later complexity drains the system. Eventually, the empire spends more energy maintaining itself than producing real value. That is the invisible turning point. Scarcity creates discipline. Abundance creates complacency. When survival is hard, societies innovate. When survival is easy, societies preserve. At peak wealth, risk-taking declines. Elites entrench. Privileges become permanent. Merit slowly gives way to inheritance. Innovation gives way to protectionism. Rome's elite stopped serving in the army. Spain's elite stopped producing goods. Britain's elite stopped investing domestically. Wealth shifted from creation to extraction. The empire becomes a machine designed not to grow, but to protect those already inside it. This is when decay becomes invisible. Peak wealth encourages a dangerous belief. We can afford it. More armies, more subsidies, more monuments, more promises. But wealth is finite. Spending is not. So empires borrow. Rome debased its currency. Spain borrowed against future gold. Britain issued debt to sustain dominance. Debt delays consequences. It creates the illusion of strength long after strength is gone. Citizens don't feel collapse. They feel inflation. They feel stagnation. They feel pressure. But leaders see stability. Until suddenly, confidence breaks. Collapse is not one event. It is a stress test the system fails. A war becomes too expensive. A recession becomes uncontrollable. A shock exposes fragility. The problem isn't the shock. The problem is rigidity. At peak complexity, systems cannot change quickly. Reforms threaten elites. Cuts threaten stability. Adaptation threatens control. So nothing changes. And when nothing changes, the system breaks. Rome didn't fall in a year. It hollowed out over centuries. Spain didn't collapse overnight. It declines slowly under debt and inflation. Collapse is not dramatic at first. It is administrative, financial, psychological. After peak wealth, empires don't disappear. They linger. Institutions exist without power. Titles exist without authority. Borders exist without control. Citizens sense decline before leaders admit it. Trust erodes. Productivity falls. Social cohesion fractures. The empire still looks powerful, but it is no longer efficient. And inefficiency is fatal in a competitive world. Now look at the modern world. Record debt, record complexity, record inequality. Economic growth increasingly financial, not productive. Governments manage perception. Central banks manage stability. Markets manage belief. This does not guarantee collapse, but it places us in a familiar historical phase. Late-stage empire is not about collapse tomorrow, it's about fragility today. Empires collapse after peak wealth because success removes urgency, wealth removes discipline, complexity removes flexibility. The very systems built to protect prosperity eventually suffocate it. History is not cruel. It is consistent. No empire escapes gravity. So here's the question history leaves us with. Are we watching the peak of modern civilization, or just another chapter before the cycle repeats once again? Comment below, because every empire ignored this.